Manhood Retreat. You got anything you want to say to the people?
It was an amazing retreat. I had time to fellowship with my brothers. I was the leader of one of the teams, and it furthered my knowledge about leading men as well as boys, and the different characteristics that each individual have, and the ways that you have to mold that to your one particular goal. But overall, it was a fun time. Got some good exercise, knowledge gain, and everything, and it was just another successful year.
Well, Prestige Cuts One, just hit me up, attorneyawesome@gmail.com. I'm all about brotherhood nationwide for real black men. All house niggas must be killed first. Damn. Ray Dog 77. One thing about people who talk that way, I just need to know if you walk that way. You know what I'm saying? Because that might be a white supremacist talking that way. You know, trying to stir something up here to get the authorities watching it. That might be a brother. That might be a brother who really buy that life. But just to come out and say that when we're not even on that topic, I don't know. All right, hey Deanne, good to see you. Great job. Deanne is one of our leaders of BPM Queens in Training. She does a great job of forming a sisterhood with the girls and influencing them the right way as opposed to the wrong way. She's a small business owner. That's one of the main things why I'm so proud of her. And she gives her all for BPM. And she's all about black nation building. So, yeah, go follow at L.ADYDEE_ at lady, but it's not the way you would think it would be spelled. So, Zeke, what team did you lead at the Manhood Retreat?
Hannibal Barker.
You're on Team Hannibal Barker, and who did you have to compete against?
Khalid Muhammad.
Khalid Muhammad. So we had two teams split up and named after two of our great warriors in all of black history, and Zeke was leading one of them. And we had, well, you was on Big Brother Born team, correct?
Yeah.
And then we had Takeem, at Dreadful Takeem. What is his name?
Boxing is life.
I love to box. I box every day, something like that. All they do is box and beat people up. And can't stand our state of minds as a community. Okay, Ray Dog, well then I'm with you, but damn, you just, okay, I'm with you. And then who was with, that was Mike Holmes. Man, let me tell you something, man. I just got to give a big shout out to everybody that donated to help the BPM Black Manhood Retreat be as great as it was. This was the 5th one we've done. You know what I'm saying? BPM got a lot of black entrepreneurs, and we got real men and women who go out and produce financially, so we're going to be all right. But the more people support us, so we're not having to go into our own pockets all the time, because we have our own families too. The more people support us, the more we can do for these kids. And a lot of people donated, but I want to give a special shout out to all the adults that volunteered their time. You had adults coming out to this beach house, going into hotel rooms with the girls. They stayed at a hotel, we stayed at a beach house. You had adults sleeping, you know, staying overnight, away from their spouse, away from their home, away from their all the niceties that they enjoy at home, sleeping on the ground. We just had real fellowship, and we had real brotherhood, real manhood. And it was just a magnificent event. It touches me every year. And no matter how many times we go, when you just have 3 straight days around your brothers, and you really giving them some real knowledge and wisdom that you know is going to change their lives, it's just something else. And so shout out to Mike Holmes, shout out to D'Angelo Glover, shout out to Darnell Goggins, shout out to Big Brother Born, shout out to Eric Neely, shout out to Jonathan Ross, shout out to Willie Weaver, shout out to Mika Pi Wilkerson, shout out to Miranda Mills, shout out to my own mom who stepped up to the plate and led things for the girls, Miss Sylvia Laverne Johnson Jackson. Shout out to Miss Natasha Davis. Man, we had people show up and put in that work. And I'm all about the workers, not the talkers, right? So, big shout out, BPM Manhood Retreat, 100% successful. We bought about 30 boys and about 20 girls. We had to cap it. You know, more people wanted to come, but we had to cap it because of limited space. Next year is going to be even bigger. So the BPM training is going full speed ahead. The next thing I want to say is this. We're going to be at the mosque on this Friday for the Senko for class 1625 North Pearl Street. We're going to be learning about eat right or die wrong. Oh, Lord, that's going to be something else. Eat right or die wrong. Now, I'm guilty because I'm about to eat some pizza tonight. I just said I wanted to eat more vegetables and be more like Dr. Sebi. But I have a cheat day every now and then. But come out tonight. Not tonight, Friday night. Jacksonville, Black Conscious Community. We're getting it together. We already got the youth. Now it's time to get the adults, okay? I want you to do that and Marcus Garvey weekend. What day is Professor Griff going to be here? Is that August the 19th?
I think so.
Okay. We're going to be celebrating Marcus Garvey weekend. That's going to be August the 19th. We got Professor Griff, Public Enemy, coming in to speak 2 days. Wait. Yeah, 2 days. And so I think it's going to be a Saturday and a Sunday. And it's going to be phenomenal. 1 day over here in the hood, 1 day out at American Beach. So we're getting ready for that. Any business owners that want to sponsor, let me know. I'll put you in touch with Brother Umar or Brother D'Angelo. Anybody who just wants to come out, let's do it. Somebody said something about the gun club. When you get a chance, you should go look up Tara Gabat. I don't know what that is. But thank you. 1 day at a time, bro. That's what Frank DeMond said. Yes, okay. So those are just the announcements. Now let's get into the topic today. Today we're going to be talking about weaponized, brain dead, super athletes. Now each one of those words is important to this topic because number one, what does weaponized mean? Weaponized means that a thing, a person or an entity has been turned into a tool to do harm to someone. They've been weaponized. So the Bible was once weaponized against us. Nat Turner weaponized it back against our enemies. Do you see? So a person or a thing can be turned into a tool for destruction. They can be weaponized. Well, many of our most awesome black athletes have been weaponized as tools against us. So you got weaponized, brain dead. That's going to be the main focus of this discussion. Why do I say brain dead? Intellectually, you can have a great mega black athlete like Des Bryant. He could be 6'3", running a 4.4 in the 40, jumping 40 inches in the air, perform under pressure, make catches even though he's going to get hit. He could be a soldier physically, and he can be a peon intellectually and mentally, right? Because many of our young black athletes, and that's one of the main topics in my book, Nothing to Show For It. If y'all ain't got this yet, y'all better go get it. It's about 2.5 years old and it never gets old. Many of our young black athletes, they develop physically very well. We put the money and time into that, but intellectually, they're just little babies. Like Des Bryant, he wouldn't even go to class at Oklahoma State. He'd be out there catching passes and touchdowns and winning the Big 12. Come time for class, they would have to send white people to force him to go to class. And if they didn't watch him, he wouldn't go. So you could be a physical phenom and be brain dead, right? So you got weaponized, brain dead, super athletes. Well, why do I say super athletes? Because the athletes that we have today, the black athletes, are out of this world, right? They're not like they were 20, 30 years ago. They were awesome then. We were always the best. But I'm talking about now. When you have people like Megatron, right? When you have people like Adrian Peterson, I'm talking about 240 pounds solid muscle, just as fast and agile as somebody that's barely 200 pounds. Do you see? We have super athletes. Terrell Owens, brain dead, right? But physically, 235 pounds, running all up and down the field, knock anybody down. The man played with a broken leg. Built like he ought to be a bodybuilder. We have super athletes now. Uh-oh, I think Journey's getting in trouble. My wife don't play no games. Y'all gotta discipline them children. Baba really would be proud. Ain't no spoiling no children in my house. Okay, when I think of a super athlete, bro, I think of the first person I think of is Calvin Johnson. Who you think of?
Anthony Joshua.
Shh, boy, that's a super athlete. Boy, but let her in. You can't. You gotta. Still gotta let the babies in. Journey, what's wrong? He said Anthony Joshua. That's a super beast. And you know who else I would say? Usain Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you know who else I put in there? Oh, I can't believe that wasn't the first name they said. 6'8", 250. Yeah, LeBron, definitely a super athlete. You know who else I put in there though? He gonna be fighting Saturday. Two of them. Tyron Woodley and John Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe John Jones could go to heavyweight and win the title. But these are what I'm talking about. Our athletes are out of this world, right? And so it's one important. This is the reason I'm talking about this, because as you become more and more conscious and you read more and more, sports are not at the top of your totem pole as far as things to be focused on, right? They're not at the top of your totem pole. But when I read this, you'll understand why this is an important topic. The black mega athlete that we were just talking about, your LeBron James, your John Jones, your Adrian Peterson. At one time it could have been your Warren Sapp or your Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. The black mega athlete is the picture of manhood, right? They represent visually what black manhood in particular, but manhood, these are the gladiators, these are the warriors, these are who our boys look up to, even more than the people in the military, because this is what they see. And these athletes come out looking like Sean Bell, Greg Jones, right? These are the pictures of manhood. These are what our boys see. They want to be like that. Greg Jones probably bigger than Hulk Hogan, right? All right, they're the picture of manhood and masculinity. So this is what our young males look up to. So now that's important. Anybody who your young males are looking up to, anybody who has that influence over your young boys, you got to look at them. You got to pay attention, right? So they're the picture of black manhood and masculinity for our young boys. They desire to be like them, but those in power, for that very reason, those in power know that they have to control them, right? Just like they control the rappers, the actors. They know anybody with that much influence over our boys must be controlled. This is how those in power see it. They say, if these boys are all looking up to LeBron James, or if they're all looking up to Calvin Johnson, or if they're all looking up to Colin Kaepernick, then I got to make sure they're not leading those boys in the way that they ought to go, right? They want to make sure that the athletes are controlled, the athletes are brain dead, the athletes are apolitical, the athletes are not black nationalists, the athletes are not about rebuilding the black family, the athletes are not about rebuilding the black community, because if that's what the athletes start talking about, right? That might have more impact than the rappers. And the rappers got influence. But even the rappers want to be like the athletes. Even the rappers want to be like the athletes. They all want to play in their all-star games and pretend like they can run and dunk and shoot and all that. It's all intertwined together. So, when you realize that the black mega athlete is the example for black manhood, then you understand why we got to talk about this. All right, Zeke, what you got to say so far?
Well, yeah, I do believe that when anybody like has that much influence on our people, youth in particular, the hierarchy are gonna try to control what they're putting out as far as their image and verbally, and they're gonna try to control them in every way, so that they don't really start making a change.
And you know who was a good example of that? Beast Mode.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who taught the Beast Mode, but somewhere along the line, Beast Mode became African centered. All I saw was African medallions. What's up, my African, red, black, and green? And I ain't talking to no Europeans. Like, damn! Did Marcus Garvey visit Beast Mode in a dream? So, now, let's talk about some examples of the mega athletes who do us terrible, just to get us in the mood to go through why this is such a big problem. Now, as a boy, the number one athlete that I looked up to is Ray Lewis. I'm embarrassed to say it now. But when I was a boy, right, training, I wanted to be like Ray Lewis. Intensity, I wanted to be like Ray Lewis. Ferociousness, I want to be like Ray. Ray Lewis used to knock the hell out of Eddie George. I remember he hit Eddie George so hard. Eddie George said he the hardest hitter in the league. I can't deny it. And I remember it was the Titans versus the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, or either divisional playoff. And the game was on the line, and the Titans were moving the ball, and Steve McNair threw the ball to Eddie George, and Eddie George heard Ray coming. Hey, Eddie George heard Ray coming. He passed that ball to Ray. Ray took the ball and headed for the hill. It was game over. Ray Lewis, and then when he came out there and did that crazy ass dance, I ain't never seen nobody do such a stupid dance, get everybody fired up in the whole stadium, throw some grass in there, just everybody going crazy. I wanted to be like Ray. I patterned myself after Ray, even after the arrest, right? And so, even in my professional career, I once heard, I think his name Tom Jackson, that be on ESPN, dark-skinned brother. I don't know if they got him on there no more. Tom Jackson said that Ray Lewis, I believe that's his name, he said that Ray Lewis plays middle linebacker better than anyone else does anything else. And for quite a few seasons in the league, that was the truth. And so that's what I wanted to pattern myself after, even as a law student, when I was done playing football, even as an attorney. You want the drive and the dedication of a Ray Lewis. And then one day, and Ray Lewis from Florida, from the hood, so ain't no excuse for him. One day, out of nowhere, he started buck dancing. I don't know who. Take that up, Mom. Journey want to out-talk me, but when you have a 2-year-old, you understand how it be. And she's smart too. One day, out of nowhere, Ray Lewis started buck dancing. I said, what the hell? When they killed Freddie Gray, when the vicious, deceitful devils in Baltimore killed Freddie Gray, severed his spinal cord, right? And a few people got pissed, but really, you know that the Orioles fans, when the blacks were protesting, you had the baseball fans down there at the same time. The Europeans started most of the conflict. Ray Lewis came out on TV and said they burning the city down, they thugs and they criminals, and from that day forward, he been coon number one, a big bad coon. That's the biggest coon I ever seen. A giant coon, what would that be, like a panda bear? You're a big old coon. And then he came out and said that, now Ray Lewis said this. Ray Lewis said that anybody caught in Chicago with a gun should get 25 years to life. I said, Ray, you killed 2 people. You didn't get 25 years to damn life? Right? Ray, do you know how much that hurt me? To see Ray go cooning? All right, Jerry Rice. Widely considered the greatest wide receiver ever. widely. How in the hell they got him to do a Popeyes commercial straight cooning with chicken and biscuits, smiling and shucking and jiving with biscuits, butter biscuits, and hey, Tariq Nasheed, now I know Tariq Nasheed said something about that because Jerry Rice had them butter biscuits up there, right? What happened, Jerry? And then you come out and speak against Colin Kaepernick taking a stance. So you up here dancing around with fried chicken and butter biscuits, but you want to be mad at Colin Kaepernick. What the hell happened, Jerry? You used to be proud. I should have known something was wrong when you got them stupid ass braids when you was about 40 years old. You trying to look like Bone Thugs and Harmony. What the hell happened, Jerry? All right, Charles Barkley. Oh, Lord. You talking about a coon. I ain't never seen a coon this big. This is a big 6'5", 300-pound coon. I love to punch him in his face. I love to. Willie D said he gonna whip his ass. Willie D, if I get to him first, I got you. Okay, here we go. I heard Charles Barkley say out of his mouth, at the height of the shootings, because you remember toward the end of Obama, they started shooting every black person. They started shooting every black man that was walking. It was just back to back, and Tamir Rice, the big boy Eric Garner choked him to death. Mike, Sandra Blank, they just started killing everybody. Charles Barkley said these killings have nothing to do with race. Charles Barkley, NBA Hall of Famer, on TV every week. You know he know a lot about race because he married to a white woman. So you got to know both sides, I assume. Or you just learn their side and forget about your own. But I ain't going to get to that yet. That's another talking point. Charles Barkley said, none of these killings have anything to do with race. How the hell you know, fat ass? That's my question. Have you studied American history? Have you studied the history of the police and how they came to be as slave patrols? Have you studied the interaction between African Americans and police throughout all time? Have you studied what happened in Jacksonville yesterday when a police officer was shot in the mouth and they wouldn't even tell us who the culprit was? They wouldn't release his name. They wouldn't show us a picture because the people that's really shooting the police are white people. Yeah, he was white, so we never got a picture. I said, wait a minute, the cop got shot 4 or 5 hours ago. The suspect got killed. So I know they know who he is by now. They ain't gonna tell us. I said, he must be a European. Because they don't wait that long when it's the black man who got killed for no reason. They still put him up with his criminal record, if he got any, or his parking tickets for Lando Castile. I said, this man done shot a police and they won't even release his identity. Got to be a European. Ain't no other way around it. So Charles Barkley, we got Ray Lewis, Jerry Rice, Charles. It's only going to get worse from here. Floyd Mayweather. I'm glad T.I. punched his ass in the mouth. Floyd Mayweather makes me sick. Floyd Mayweather is one of the most disgusting people I ever met. Right? He can't read. That's the problem. He can't read. Can I prove it? Floyd Mayweather, they asked him, they say, Floyd, do you do any charity? Do you contribute to any causes in Africa? Floyd said, why the hell would I contribute to Africa? What did they do for me? Shit, I got a whole bookshelf over here, Floyd. I got a whole bookshelf. Hand me shake hand to DR, the one I done read till it done tore up. Floyd, with the yellow tape on it right there. I say, Floyd, if your dumb ass could just read, if your dumb ass could just read, Mr. Mayweather, if you could, matter of fact, you don't even got to read it. I'll just give you my notes. I try to chop all these books down into a page or two. If your dumb ass could just read a page, you would have never asked that question. What did Africa do to you? I don't know. Spirituality, math, science, geometry, astronomy, all of the major components of civilization, medicine. I don't know. What the hell? What else did they do? What the hell else you want, you dumb ass? But he can't read. But this the thing that got me about Floyd. Okay, you don't know your history. You're dumb as hell. You can't read. I understand. You know. But you come walking out to the ring with an open, zealous, white supremacist named Justin Bieber. Now, how do I know Justin Bieber is a white supremacist? They done caught him multiple times on tape talking about niggas like we don't even live. Anybody who want to clarify what I'm saying or verify what I'm saying, go to YouTube and type in Justin Bieber, view nigga. Okay? I don't like to use that word, but here it goes. Justin Bieber sitting there with some of his white friends, and he's getting ready to go into a racist joke. They're like, Justin, no, don't do it. Meaning he does this all the time. Because they knew what he was about to do. Justin say, what noise does a motorcycle make? They said, no, Justin, no. Vroom, nigga. This Justin Bieber now. Right? Go watch it for yourself. Can't make this up. Then he put out a song on YouTube. He was singing it. And the song was called One Less Lonely Nigger. And I quote, Justin Bieber said in the song, if I kill you, I'll be a part of the KKK. But there'll be one less lonely nigger. Am I lying, Z? All right, on film. This is on film. This is what they caught. So you know they didn't catch it all. You tell me why in the hell a black man want to walk out with a dumb son of a bitch like this that got any self-respect? Any ideas, Z? Would you walk out with Justin Bieber? I'll walk out with him. I'll walk out to the ring. As soon as I get in, I'll bust his ass in the mouth and put that on YouTube. How about that? I don't know what's wrong with these coons. And then when they said Floyd, and I believe Usher was in on this too, and 50 Cent walked out with him, so put him on in the boat. They said, Floyd, do you feel Justin Bieber's racist? He never done nothing but treat me good. I never seen no racism. Did you check YouTube? Oh man, these coons make me mad. Oh, they make me mad, boy. They make me mad. 50 Cent punk ass. And who the other Usher? They all defended him. Oh, he's been a great guy to me. Oh, you sound like a slave that been raped, but the master gave you some extra butter biscuits after he raped you. He been good to me. Oh, I can't stand you. So now I got to pick between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I don't know who the hell to pick. I hope they kill each other. How about that? Kill each other. You both die. Nah, how about that? And then I hope Anderson Silva come and win. Because I can't pick between John Jones and Cormier either because they both Toms. But anyway, Kobe Bryant. They asked Kobe, what more does the system have to show us that there is no love between brown people at all in the love for brown people? Who the hell are brown people? Mm-hmm. You mean blacks, the Africans? I thought you were talking about the Mexicans. But anyway, Kobe Bryant. They asked Kobe Bryant about Trayvon Martin. I wanted to go kill him right there. He sounded like Michael Jordan's grandson. I said, Kobe Bryant, are you going to speak out about Trayvon? We haven't heard you. He said, I don't have to speak out for him just because he's black and he's got killed. He said, just because he black and got killed, if I speak out for him based on that, then I'm no better than the racist because I need to wait for all the evidence to come out. Okay, Kobe, the whole trial went through and your dumb ass still ain't say nothing. See, I can't mess with Kobe. Kobe make me sick. You trying to say that if you speak out on behalf of a black boy that was killed before all the evidence comes out, then that would make you like a white supremacist, or that would say we supposed to be beyond that. We ain't beyond nothing. How the hell we beyond that and they just lent Sandra Bland? Right? So Kobe, they should have called you the white mamba. Yeah, call his ass the white mamba. Because he lost it all. Now, we're not going to talk about what happened in Colorado. Colorado? We're not going to talk about what happened in Colorado. You just like Ray. They get you caught up in a little criminal situation. And I guess they take y'all. I take y'all backstage and cut off your nuts and say we'll let you off if you just go white and never go black, never go back black. Michael Vick. Okay, now we up to the modern day. I gave you some more historic examples. Now we up to Michael Vick. We all know what Vick said. Colin Kaepernick needs to cut his hair first of all. And it's got nothing to do with his performance. Okay, let me take this off because I'm about to really get mad. He said, it's got nothing to do with his political stance. It's all about his performance last year. I'll talk about Trick Daddy in a minute. I'll talk about Trick Daddy in a second. He said, somebody said Trick Daddy. That's off topic, but it's almost back. But Michael Vick said that Colin Kaepernick not being on the team right now has nothing to do with politics. Okay. Vic, your sorry ass got out of prison and got back on the team. And you weren't that good. I know because I'm a Steelers fan and you finished up with Pittsburgh. Okay? If they let you back on the team and you too dark-skinned to ever look presentable, yeah, in the eyes of the whites, the closer you are to bright and white, that's the more presentable you are. Those of us that are highly melanated, we highly unpresentable. So you could never be presentable, and even if you cut off all your hair. But your sorry ass got back on the team. See, I used to be a Michael Vick fan. I cheered for him all through the dog fighting situation, just like Ray. As soon as he get back on the other side, he turned. That's ridiculous what you said, Mike. But I found out why. It turns out that Mike is, he's got an internship or some sort of apprenticeship to become a coach underneath Andy Reid. And his wife is in the process of getting a reality show. So Vic got some money on the line right now. He's trying to buck dance his way through the damn dough. But if he knew how to merchandise his own name and capitalize on that, he wouldn't be licking the feet of his former masters, right? But he doesn't know how to do that. So now he's got to go through the ritual. Disavow your people. Show us that you can stay in line and we can let you back on the plantation. Because you don't have any idea how to take care of yourself off the plantation. I'm about to get mad. And Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier fighting to retain the light heavyweight championship this Saturday. Did you see the video I posted? Mm-hmm. They got Daniel Cormier, easily one of the top 5 baddest black men in the world when it comes to mixed martial arts right now. They got him dancing around with fried chicken, clapping the chicken together. I ain't never seen Coonan this big here. He took it to another level, talking about I'm all about the cake and the chicken. Clapping the chicken wings, looking like a big old gender confused person. I'm all about the chicken. I said, you wanted the bad, and they got him with his shirt off, with a pink background, looking very feminine. I said, I wonder what the white man get out of this. Okay, this is some sick stuff, right? Because if they just want to make him be a buffoon, dancing around with the chicken is enough. But why make him get half naked? Why put him in the front of a pink background? And why make him act so feminine? Right? I think y'all need to read Dr. Baruti's Homosexuality and the Feminization of the African Male. It's something behind that. But anyway, Daniel Cormier came into the UFC as a big black beast, knocking people out. Had black woman, because I know he had them because he had them black children. Next thing you know, he showed up with Angelina Jolie. An ugly ass Angelina Jolie. And he got a big ugly one. He showed up with Angelina Jolie telling John Jones, you wasn't good enough to fight because you can't behave well enough. And do you know what? You know what Cormier said? Roy Nelson, big old country European, had a slight dispute with Dana White. And you know what Cormier said? This one I knew he was buck dancing. He said, don't worry about him, Uncle Dana. Uncle Dana? This bald-headed European ain't your uncle? He said, don't worry about it, Uncle Dana. I'll punish him for you. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Zeke, say something to the people.
Well, okay. So, the mixed martial arts scene in particular is an extreme way of pushing this brainwashed, controlled super athlete, because those mixed martial artists are a face of, being a gladiator and being tough. Like, being a basketball player, being a super athlete, that's one thing. But actually fighting for a living, that makes you even more of a gladiator and something that a black male, young male that wants to be tough and things like that. That makes something they want to look up to. So when they get your mind and you out here being feminine, along with brainwashed and pushing the white supremacist agenda, that makes it like twice, 3, 4, 5 times as bad.
That's a good point, because right now, you can honestly say that John Jones is the baddest man on the earth. He never lost a fight. He beat everybody they put in front of him. He beat Rampage Jackson. He beat Rashad Evans. He beat Machida. Nobody can beat him, right? So a black young boy can say, I want to be like the baddest man on the earth, but if you do that, you got to go get you a European woman. Because both Cormier and Jones, they don't mess with no sisters. And they don't ascribe to any pro-black, black nationalist ideology. So Zeke had a point, because, the basketball players, they super athletes, but they not the picture of manhood. The baddest man on the earth right now, it would come to hand-to-hand comeback, is John Jones. Or either Anthony Joshua, or the other big old black boy, Wilder.
Yeah.
So I guess we would have to go with Wilder, because he do got a black woman. So that was a good point. Now that we covered some examples of these brain-dead super athletes, now that we covered a little bit of why they're so deadly for us, let's cover how our boys become this way, right? Now, I'm going to speak in generalities, but I'm going to speak in generalities that cover the vast majority of what I've seen coming up. And I came up heavily ingrained in the athletic culture. I could put this back on now. I'm not so mad. Now, I came up, one of 6 children, Orlando, Florida, impoverished neighborhoods, with a dad that was in and out of my life on drugs and alcohol and drugs and alcohol. And the thing that appealed to me as a way to improve my life and to focus on was football. And this is what a lot of our boys appealed to. But it was not so bad for me, because a lot of our boys, they have this pushed on them. I'll give you an example. And I wrote about this in my book, in the chapter where I talk about identity. A lot of our boys never develop any identity, any interest, any passion outside of sports. In particular, football. Football is the worst of all. Right? I played, I know. They don't develop any psychological attachment, any zeal, any enthusiasm for anything but football. But why? Want me to tell you why? Because that's what they taught from the day they born. From the day they born. Am I over-exaggerating? Everybody that's on this timeline that's black, as soon as a black boy is born, before he can even walk, you got the daddies and the uncles and cousins coming up saying, oh, that's going to be a linebacker right there. That's going to be a fullback right there. Be a quarterback right there. Am I lying, Zeke? Before he can walk. So you didn't just say, that's going to be the next Marcus Garvey, or that's going to be the next Malcolm X. You came up to him and said, that's going to be the next linebacker. How the hell you know? He only won. Right? We already shaping that boy's mindset, right? Now, soon as the boy can walk, do we buy him 55 books, or do we buy him a football and some shoulder pads?
Football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when my daughter was born, my wife told everybody that came to the baby shower, bring a book. Never seen that before in my life. Soon as the boy can walk, you got to give him a football. He can't hardly pick it up yet. How about a book? Right? We do this to them. We set them up for this. We give them one identity and one outlook on life. We do it. Right? Now, not me. Not me. I don't do it. Because you'd think sometimes from the way I act now that I hate sports. But our parents do this, and it was done to me. Okay, so we teach them from the day they're born. We got little league sports. You can be 5 playing football. Running around out there, you're a running back. You're the next Terrell Owens. Ebony Bella, we know, not you. You are not guilty of this. You are a great parent, and you pushing balance with your young boys between their academics, their spirituality, their black history, and martial arts too, and BPM for life. But Ebony, the vast majority of the parents ain't doing this. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay? Nah, we give them this one-track mindset. Well, how else do we do it? Little league sports. We got the kids going to football and basketball camps younger and younger. We got parents hiring personal trainers. Nah, am I lying? We got parents hiring personal trainers for 10-year-olds to make him the next Tracy McGrady or Randy Moss. Shout out Randy Moss, because Randy Moss stayed gangster all the way through. They ain't never break him. Personal trainers for 10-year-olds. Now imagine this. Think about this for a second. Put your mind on this. If you hire a personal trainer to make your 10-year-old the next Randy Moss, you don't even know if he's going to be 5'10" or 6'10". That could be a badass investment, right? What if we hired professors to teach our children their history at that age? I'm talking about in depth, right? What if we did that? What if we brought in the next Frances Welsing to teach our kid at the age of 10 who she really was? Or who he really is with the same money? What if we did that? Oh, that sounds crazy, don't it? But you can hire a personal damn trainer to try to get him to run the 4-4. You could have got me 10 personal trainers. I was never running the 4-4. Unless they gave me somebody else's legs, right? But nah, that's I'm talking out of this world. You got parents that tailgate for high school football. You think your kids don't see that? Do your ass ever tailgate for their final exams? Do you ever show up when they're about to take these standardized tests? Or for these student-teacher meetings, do you ever show up for those? But you out there with barbecue and drinks for the football game. This is shaping them. This is telling them what's important to you, so that's going to make that important to them. Right? This is how you get the brain-dead super athlete. You didn't show up when Trayvon got shot. You didn't show up when Dr. Umar was in town. You didn't show up for the black business, support the black business event. But you out there decked out for the football game, right? You betting on the games. You'll travel all over the state to see a game. And the teacher say, you need to come in and talk. Your kid about to fail. I don't got time. I got to work. Oh, but your ass can be out here showing out for the football game, right? Okay. So now you see, the parents push this mentality on the kids. We don't push true knowledge of self, right? I'm not talking about all of us, but I'm talking about most of us. We'll bring in a personal trainer, but we won't bring in somebody to teach true knowledge of self to our children if we don't have it, right? So now you got a kid that's on the road to becoming a Michael Vick. Why wouldn't you if you could pay to get a personal trainer, you could pay to send your kid to Dr. Boyce Watkins' Wealth Boot Camp to learn entrepreneurship, saving, and investing. Why didn't you do that? Because that ain't where your mind at. Right? Okay. So, we don't teach them their true identity. We don't teach them the position of their people and their own position in society. And we don't teach them to think team black. Right? Now, this is going to get a little bit controversial, but who gives a damn? Team Black. Zeke, can you give me a component of being on Team Black?
You always doing what's best for the black community.
For example?
Buying from black businesses.
Buy black. How many of you parents teach your kids that? While you teaching them how to backpedal and do karaoke's and push-ups and jumping jacks and how to catch and run a post route. How many are you teaching whenever you see a black business, you ought to go there? You think they're teaching that? Well, let me do a better one for you. Like they came after Dr. Umar for. How many of you teach your kids that you go out and get you a black woman or a black man? If you're a female, you get you a black man. Don't let me get no confusion. Don't let me get no confusion here. How many of you teach your black sons that you have to get a black woman and your black daughters that you have to get a black man? How many teach that? Nah, but you talking about, I just want my kids to be happy. Shut the hell up. If you don't teach them a Team Black mindset, what you think they're going to learn when they get to big white university? Why I call it big white university? Because you can just insert Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Texas, any of them, Iowa. That's where I went. And now I'm an expert on the white universities. I went to the whitest of them all. How white was it, Zeke?
Very white.
He came up there. I went to the white, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the whitest of them all? Yeah, I know a lot about the Europeans. All right, now here we go. So we don't teach them their true identity. We don't teach them to be Team Black. We don't teach them the things that they need to know. We don't teach them the rules. See, we need a set of rules that every black person has to go by. When I was in college, I wrote out 10 black commandments, but I lost them, but I'm going to bring them back. We need to teach our kids 10 black commandments so they don't get confused. Because when they get a hold to them, like on Blindside, I'm going to get to that in a second. They're going to teach them the 10 white commandments. And I talked to my brother, MC Chance, up in, I believe, Philadelphia. And the way they're going to put that white mindset on them, they're going to teach them you have to worry about your brand. It's all about your brand, right? And being controversial and speaking out on the sides of your people. Your phone charger. Yeah. It's not going to be good for your brand. So then they're going to bring something else out of them, and we ain't even gave them what they need to start with, right? Okay, let it keep going. Now, along with not teaching them their identity, a lot of our boys don't have real dads. Some don't have any. Many don't have a real dad. And when you don't have a dad, they're going to try to replace your dad. That's why they hate Alonzo Ball. That's his name, right? Lonzo Ball. Not Alonzo?
I think it's just Lonzo.
Just Lonzo? That's pretty weird, but you know, I ain't going to get into that. But when you don't have a real dad, see, because the dad is the number one person there to teach that black boy his identity. The dad is the one to say, boy, that's stupid. Don't do that no more. The dad is the one to stand between them. You know how Venus and Serena, the reporters couldn't really bully them around because their dad was right there. He'll cuss their ass out. That's what the dad for. He got to make that boy mind what it ought to be, so you can't just go remake him in your own image. He got to make it in his own image, like God did Christ. But if there's no dad there, right, this opens the door for what I call the blindside attack. What's the blindside attack, Zeke? What you think?
When your brain is open to being brainwashed, like they can come in and tell you anything and basically just mold you into what they want you to be.
Exactly. If you saw the movie Blindside, or even you see what Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are doing, or what Mike Tyson's coach did, or what they tried to do to me, the upper middle class to upper class European will go in to the black community. They will find the best black super athletes. They will bring those kids into their home, right? You never had a black person in your house before, but you'll go get a black super athlete like Mike Tyson, or the offensive lineman from Blindside, they will bring him into their home. They will bring them into the suburbs. See, I've been to the suburbs, and they will seek to remake that guy's mind while keeping his athletic talent and maximizing that. It's just like Carter G. Woodson said, you keep the mind weak, but you want the body strong, right? So you're going to come in and bring him out the ghetto and say the ghetto was bad, the ghetto was rough, the ghetto was no good, the black people were violent. But you're out here in the suburbs now. You're a talented athlete. We're going to help you be successful. But by the way, think like us, right? By the way, adopt our mindset. See, this is the Blindside attack. This is what they did on Blindside. That's why I never took Zeke to see that movie, did I? I already knew what it was when I saw it. Oh, we're going to take the black boy out the ghetto, get him out in the good white suburb. I said, what's the message of the movie? I could tell the message from the preview. The message is, black boy, you in the ghetto, everybody on drugs, but if you can just get out to a good middle-class white family, you'll be good to go. That can't save black people. I wasn't with the message. So what I'm saying is, when the daddies ain't there, that's why the black man got to step up to the plate. When the daddies ain't there, here come Blindside. Come on, honey. Taking the black boy over there with their damn daughter. Now, you know a white person would never have a black boy in the house with their daughter unless they got something up their sleeve. Because they want you to be successful athletically. Don't think for yourself, just be successful athletically, and then we'll take credit for it. Well, how they get credit out of that? We bought this poor black ghetto boy out to our house. He was on the road to prison, and we turned him around. Get the hell out of here. Oh, they tried it on me. They tried it on me as an athlete. They tried it. I ain't gonna say no names, but I've been in gated communities I ain't had no business in. They take these black athletes around as, you know how I take my Desert Eagle around? I take my Desert Eagle around and let people see it. Hey, look at my Desert Eagle. I like it. It's so cool. Look at my Desert Eagle. Some people take their car around like that. Some people take their woman. She got a big butt. They take their woman. Look at my woman. Well, that's what Europeans do under the Blindside effect. Look, I got this poor little nigger boy right here. He would have been no good without me. But now, since he came underneath me, he's going to make it. And then they say, oh, you're so loving. They're doing that for their own personal self-aggrandizement. Right? Their own person. You know how I know? Because when they were bringing me to the suburbs and I started reading Malcolm, they got rid of my ass. When I didn't go along with the programming, when I started talking about injustice and police brutality and reading for myself, oh, wait a minute. That's not what we bought you here for. You're supposed to play football and play football. That's what they want. I'm from ghetto. They help me. I make it out. Play football. That's it. That's all they wanted. You know what I'm saying? I know from experience. Okay, so that lead into the Blindside effect. You seen that with Mike Tyson. They love talking about how Mike Tyson was getting arrested 35 times, but this good old white man brought him out to his house and taught him how to box, and that saved his life. Well, you know what would have been better than a good old white man? A dad. A black dad. To give Mike a spiritual, intellectual, emotional foundation. Because if Mike would have had that foundation, if Mike would have had that training, that cultural and that historical training, Mike most likely would have been one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He already is. But the fights that Mike lost, we all know, was more mental than physical. The man fought with STDs. The man got convicted of rape. But that was a gold digger. But anyway, we're going to get into that. All I'm saying is they love to stick in what Tariq Nasheed would call a white savior. And even in the movie we just went to go see, the new Planet of the Apes movie, they stuck in a white savior. The movie was all about race. You had Nazis trying to kill off. They was doing Nazi marches and they had Hitler up on the thing, but they slid in a white savior, little white girl, right? And so They always want a white savior. There will be no white saviors in my life story, and there will be no white saviors in Zeke's life story. Either we'll do it for ourselves or it won't get done. Now, does that mean there's never been a white person to do good by me in my life? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, I will not go underneath the control or subjugation for a European in order to get where I want to get. Either I'll do it for myself or I won't get there. How about you, Vern?
I totally agree.
What about I give you $10 million?
And you're European?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so if I give you $10 million, you'll come. All right. Now, the next thing I want y'all to understand why these black athletes become that way is because, get your phone ready, Z. Why these black athletes become that way is because when you become a good athlete in the system of white supremacy, a good black athlete, as long as you're not a radical, you get a special status. You're not really black no more. You're more valued. You're more important. You're worth the time. You're not as scary. Don't shoot him. Oh, there you go. You're just like a big black buck on Django. Don't shoot him. You still a nigger underneath, but you're worth a little bit more. Right? You can get away with a little bit more. You can come to their houses. You can even date their daughters. Right? They put up with you some more. They'll get you off when you get in trouble. But don't you ever rock that boat, black boy. Because if you ever say anything to sound like Elijah Muhammad, they will bust your ass back down to black status so quick, you'll forget what it was like to be in ultra black. You were ultra black before. What's a good example of this? Colin Kaepernick. We didn't even know what his race was. All we know is he was a quarterback. We knew he had some black in him, but the system liked him until he said something black. And even Marshawn Lynch. When Marshawn started talking black, David Banner. When David Banner was saying, real thugs get down on the floor. You okay now? Now you talking about pump your black fist and blah, blah, black? No, you got to go. No more major record label deals for you. Okay? 1 second. Let me get Instagram back going. We still got some percentage left on that. You logged into mine?
No, I just logged out, so you can log in.
Okay, we'll get Instagram back going here. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen, but this is a real in-depth topic. All right. Let me try again. Oh, I forgot. I changed my password. All right, we in. We live. All right, we back on the air. We're gonna let Instagram get back going, and we're gonna pick up where we left off. One second, Facebook. Shout out Clara Walker for raising some of the greatest young black men I ever seen in my life. BPM might take credit for them, but they was already good before they came to BPM. How many she raised? About 5, 6 of them? There's a lot of them Walker boys. They all great boys. Warriors.
Yeah, 6.
Warriors and scholars. I love them all. Shout out Clara Lady C. Walker. But in real life, just know, real mothers are needed. Stop trying to be your kids' friends. Okay, let's get back into this. That special status, see, a lot of black athletes realize that status doesn't apply to them. When they get involved with the European woman and something goes wrong, Tiger Woods, something goes wrong, Kobe Bryant, Something goes wrong, O.J. Simpson. Something goes wrong, King Kong. And you realize, wait a minute, I'm still black, right? All these years you thought you were good to go. So you messing with Becky. And all Becky got to do is make one accusation, and you'll be cast back. Now I got to hold this. This is the most popular chapter in this book. I wrote a chapter about this in this book, and I think every young black male, even if they don't read the book, y'all ought to force them to read this chapter here. Trap number 5, right? And nothing to show for it. Trap number 5: women, Jersey chasers, and starstruck one-nighters. If they don't understand this, you see, this is how they got COVID by his nuts. He didn't understand this. If they don't understand this, Brother Polite, they're gonna go down. If that girl even accuses you, you don't have to be guilty or even almost guilty. If she even accuses you, it's over for you. Right? And you know who's gonna learn this the hard way? Okay, I'm not gonna speak it, but you know who's showing the tendency to have to learn this the hard way? Ezekiel Elliott. He love him, boy. He love him. So when he lose that status, he'll realize. All right. And one thing I want you guys to understand is that once a black male goes into this elevated status that they put them in above being black, they don't ever have to come back to us. Charles Barkley's not coming back. Michael Jordan's not coming back. Because as long as they don't do anything to offend the white power structure, they can stay. They can stay in semi-white status, like Kanye West. As Kanye West had to stop being conscious, because you see, Kanye West used to drop some conscious lyrics. But since he became a Kardashian, he can't say that anymore. But all he has to do is don't do that, be safe, and he can be a Kardashian for the rest of his life. You never have to come back. You see, Lamar Odom has started saying conscious stuff, right? He has started making these shirts about a black Jesus and the principles that the real Jesus was about, the real Jesus, and how the blacks should follow that, and we would be a people. See, Lamar Odom has started saying some conscious stuff. That's why he almost died in that. They think, he almost dead in there with some hookers. But what I'm saying is that once they take our black athletes away, they say you can come over, you can be semi-white. They never have to come back unless they challenge the system. And the more they spit on us, the more ingratiated they are to the system. Right? Charles Barkley is the greatest example of this. Charles Barkley ain't shit. Right? Always remember that. So, now, the one thing I learned that's really detrimental, and I learned this when I was doing the research in Nothing to Show For, and I talked to athletes that went pro, because I never went pro. I played 2 years in college and got injured. But I learned from the guys that went pro. And this is how they get your guys hung up. The guys that went pro told me that the Europeans, the agents, all the people in that agent circle, because that agent, they're going to have your money spent before you even get it. Well, what do I mean by that? Number one, when you're a top prospect in the NFL, after your senior year or whatever year you're going to come out, the agents will bum rush you. I had Andre Davis. He told me that after he played his last game, the agents were waiting at the hotel. Right? They'll tell you, I'm going to take you to this high-tech, state-of-the-art training camp to get you ready for the draft. I'm going to put you in an Escalade. I'm going to give you $10,000 of spending money. We're going to get you ready for the draft. You're going to be good to go. And you go there and you do all that and you train and you live lavishly and you eat the filet mignon. And then once you get drafted, you realize that all of that they spent is coming out of your check. And you ain't even know. Who made that song? You don't even know. You don't even know. It might have been. You don't even know. Okay. So they got your check spent, your first check, Andre said they had most of his first contract gone before he even got it. Right? Okay. Then, once you get into the league, that agent, who is probably a European, Rosenhaus, that agent, he's going to get his percentage of your money. Then he has a friend who's a real estate agent. And then he has a friend who's a jeweler. Then he has a friend who sells cars. And they just gonna send your ass round the circle, buying expensive shit, till they got your whole contract, your whole next contract, and you have nothing. Right? Now, I got this from the players that went through it. Now, if they can manage to take most of your money and keep you in a financially precarious position, how in the hell you gonna speak out on anything, nigga? Huh? You can't. They got your money spent before you spend it. 80% of y'all gonna be broke by the time you get out the league. So how you gonna be standing up talking about you gonna be like Jim Brown? Right? You don't have any independence. That's why most of the people with the jobs never trust the revolutionary who got a good job under the European. Because either he's an agent or he's hiding what he's doing. He should get fired. If he don't get fired soon, he's not a real revolutionary. You got to be living a double life. Because you can't say the things that a real black man wants to say and be financially dependent upon the European. Malcolm told you that. If you depend on your enemy for a job, you're in bad shape. Malcolm said that. So yeah, it's a reason the brother made this book. He wrote the book, $40 Million Slave. I ain't even read the book, but I know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about. So yeah, they spend your money before you get it. They make sure you stay strapped, like Clinton Portis, broke. The big time running back Quentin Richardson out of Alabama, who came into the league. They say his family went through $1 million of his dollars in less than a year. If you're not financially secure, you can't say what you want to say. That's why Elijah Muhammad was so bad. Because the nation was about business, baby. We got our own schools, our own businesses. I'm talking about the real nation. But yeah, that's another way they get our players to be weaponized against us. And I'm getting to my last 2 points. Now, we need to teach our boys entrepreneurship. We need to teach our boys business skills. We need to teach our boys marketing skills. We need to teach our boys that they can make money legitimately in ways that don't involve rapping, sports, dope, or pimping. Why? Because if the young black males that did play knew that they could go take care of themselves and their families without this damn sport, they wouldn't be so subservient to the people higher up in these sports, these coaches, these GMs, and these team owners. Our boys believe all they could do is play football. How do I know it? I know niggas, 35 years old, 37, 38, 48, playing football for semi-pro teams right in their own little city that don't get paid to play, but pay to play, and don't even have health insurance. Can you do something else besides playing football, brother? Okay, hang up the damn cleats. We all had our glory days, right? But when you don't believe you can do anything else, that's why a lot of these players, you get somebody that done been cut from 8 teams going to his 9th. How does it feel to move to 8 different cities? I don't know. I think I would take my ass and do something else by then. But if you believe you can do nothing but sports, you're going to be completely subservient to them. You're going to be 100% dependent on them, and you're not going to say anything to ruffle any feathers. Right? Like you dudes that got your woman taking care of you. and she paying the bills and you driving her car, you can't say shit. Because if she get rid of you, you're ruined. You don't have nothing because you dependent, you subservient, right? Well, our boys who've been raised up to do nothing but football and can't think for themselves and don't have any other acumen. See, that's why I love Maurice Claret. Maurice Claret went down to the bottom of the barrel. He fell into every trap in this book. I wrote about him in the book. We talk on the phone every now and then. Maurice Claret went to prison at the bottom of the barrel, and all he did is study and build himself up spiritually and intellectually. Forget the football. He got himself together spiritually and intellectually and came back out making money 4-5 different ways, all legal, no football. Right? That's what we need. That's what we need. But we don't have a lot of that. And now I got to hit this last point. And Umar already hit it. So if you don't like what I'm saying, go attack Dr. Umar. Don't attack me. One of the key ways that they knock the blackness out of the black athlete is to make sure he ends up with a European woman. You hear me? I'm not going to joke with you now. Because when you have a European woman, now this is not racist, this is just fact. You can't talk the way you want to talk. Put it like this. When men are together with no women around, we can say things that we can't say with women around, right? Right, Zeke? Mm-hmm. But same thing with us as black people. When we just around us, we can say things that we can't say when there's others around. Well, when you're married to an other, you can't take the same positions. You can't say the same things because it will contradict you. And the Bible says not to be unequally yoked. And the reason for that is either that person's going to influence you with their beliefs or you're going to influence them. It's going to be a little back and forth. And it never fails that when the black athlete gets with the European woman, he doesn't speak up on our issues no more. Do you know one who does? No. And don't talk about Belafonte like punk-ass Roland Martin. Belafonte was an integrationist. You don't speak for blacks if you're an integrationist. But anyway, what I want to say is this. When I went to Iowa, when I went there for a visit, they brought out these young blonde European women to go show us around the facility and show us this and show us that. I didn't think nothing of it. But now I see, right? When you see these universities getting caught up in these scandals, when is Shannon Sharp married to that European? Because Shannon Sharp be talking black, and I thought he came home. You telling me he's still out there? Dessalines? Man, research that, because I know he had one in the beginning. But I felt like he had to leave her, the stuff he be saying. Check that. He might have came home. Let me know. I'm hoping he came home. But anyway, yeah, that's one of the main. He is, oh damn. We don't have anybody. But yeah, that's another tool that they use. They present that to you. They push it on you. And they try to make sure it happens that way. Man, I've seen some great black men that leave home as far as who they marry, and they never come back ideologically. So it's going to have an impact. Either you got to indoctrinate her and she going to come over as much as she can, or she's going to indoctrinate you. And 9 times out of 10, it's they indoctrinate you. So, again, the reason I decided to talk about this topic is because I seen Daniel Cormier dancing around clapping chicken together. Right? You got one of the baddest black men on the earth dancing around with his clothes off in front of a pink background, clapping chicken together like some kind of weird ghetto porn star. Right? And so it brought to mind a lot of the things that I talked about in Nothing to Show For. But these things are harmful to us because our kids look up to these people. So number one, we need to make sure our kids have good role models to look up to. Number two, if our kids are going to be into athletics, we need to make sure they balance spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and not just the physical. Because if they do that, they'll get underneath that European coach, and that coach will make him what they want him to be. So make sure your kids are balanced. And last but not least, we need to go ahead and call out these coons for who they are. If I can turn on Ray Lewis, you can turn on your favorite athlete. Nobody don't want to turn on Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan turned on his black wife. Got rid of her, 25 damn years of marriage, paid her $300 million, and probably more than that. If he can turn on his black wife, you can turn on him. We got to get a black code of conduct, like Tariq always said. I'm gonna bring you 10 black commandments, 10 black laws. Right? That's gonna be my next one. I'm gonna bring you 10 black laws. We're gonna make this simple. If the person does that, if the person breaks just one of these laws, they out. Some things you can't break. You got a problem with that, Vern? Mm-hmm. If a person breaks one of these laws, they out. So that's it. That's all I got for the brain dead super athletes. Vern, give us your closing thoughts.
Anybody, any young person, I want to be an athlete, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, just have balance. A lot of balance.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you have your priorities straight. Athletics not always first. Very seldom they're first, actually. That's it.
And as you can notice, my BPM son Sadiq is not here. This like one of the first shows we ever had to do without him. But he decided to go visit his actual mom, not my baby mom. I don't have any of those. I have one black wife with 2 black biological children, but I have about close to over 100 BPM children, and Sadiq is one of the main ones. So he went and decided to go visit his home. How can you visit home? I don't know. But that's the way it works out in BPM sometimes. So shout out to Sadiq. What's his name? 904 BPM?
Yeah.
Go follow 904 BPM. He's a great young black man. So until next time, God bless you all. The next lecture, I'm bringing out the black laws. Unless something crazy happens and I have to address that. But my next plan is to bring out the 10 black commandments. Right? That's my next plan. So as I always say, BPM today,
BPM tomorrow, BPM for life.
baby.